The Dauntless. So I'm being used in a political marriage? Modan asks in a slightly dumbfounded tone. Yes and no. No, we're not forcing anything. Yes, in that unless you deliberately sabotage things on your end for the sake of spite, we're getting the advantages of a political marriage. Private Stream explains. And this is only being told to me because Admiral Cistern ordered Sir Philip to explain himself in front of a representative of the Therasite Republic. Modan continues and Private Stream nods. Why me? Personal matchup. Sir Philip examined the entire Therasite intelligence agency stationed here on Centris and then looked through the undaunted soldiers for who matched up with the most of them. You and 3 others actually fit in some way to every single unmarried woman in the intelligence agency, so he decided on you. Who were the other 3? I don't know, he hasn't said. For all we know, there isn't. For all we know, the matchup isn't that good unless someone looks for an excuse for it to match up, and they then Pavlov or placebo themselves into thinking you're a perfect match for them. I hate how much sense that makes. Modan notes somewhat bitterly. I'm not entirely comfortable with the thought of that old man meddling in my love life. Implying that you don't have much problem with someone meddling with your love life? If it were family or close friends making suggestions or setting me up, then the worst they'd get is some sarcasm. But I scarcely know Sir Philip. But you know of him, and you know how he rarely makes mistakes. And never leaves one uncorrected. Yes, that is what it says in the books. Is it true? So far. He's in the habit of correcting any mistake he makes quickly and helping others correct their own. So it's easy to see why he'd end up with such a huge reputation for flawless results, Private Stream says, before taking off his hat and sighing. His face suddenly has a far more Asian cast to it, possibly Chinese. It's hard keeping up with all the madness. Modan can't help but note that with the hat off, the man's letting a Mandarin accent slip in. You're one of the men that came in on a lance, aren't you? How are you adjusting? Poorly. I reacted poorly. I did everything. Poorly at first. I struggle to understand how you and yours keep such a mad pace. We came out here expecting death. We knew the path was uncertain, unclear, and likely the last we'd ever travel. I don't ever expect to see Earth again, so I'm not so tied down or held back by the idea. It terrifies me to the depths of my soul to even consider not going back to Earth, the Chinese man states before looking away. I came here to punish those who would dare lie to the party. Then I learned that the lie was of omission so the party would not be further insulted by the terrible truth. Terrible truth? What truth is that? There are many truths I've encountered and some are quite terrible. Modan asks carefully and the man huffs before putting his hat back on and looking straight up at him so he can meet the false but still startlingly blue eyes of Private Stream. That all we have built in the People's Republic is small, fleeting, petty, and not even worthy of notice. That there are people here who were old when China was young and still think of themselves as young now. We do not matter. We are as mice, waging war for the scraps that fall from the table of the gods. Then we must take our seat at the table, at its head if we can, Modan says, and Private Stream laughs. Who do you think you are, the Monkey King? Who are you to demand that? I am Modan Maji and I am undaunted, Modan says simply, and Private Stream stares at him a bit before smiling. I see. I know what to tell the party now. Thank you, Private Stream says before he turns to leave. Before you go, how close is the next lance to departure, for curiosity's sake? Modan asks, and Private Stream seems to openly consider and then nods. Within 100 hours. Private Stream answers and Modan nods. No exact time, so it's hard to interfere with, but a general look at things. For all Modan knows, it's leaving in the next 20 minutes. I see. Safe travels to you and everyone on that ship with you. The spin gravity makes it more pleasant than the initial trip. I'd hope so. Microgravity is a novelty that wears off very quickly, especially when you need to use the facilities. Modan notes and private stream chuckles. Yes, but re-entry on Earth should be exciting. Have a good day. Safe journeys and happy homecomings. Modan calls after him as he scampers off. So, some of the private streams are in fact the spies from Earth? Well, who better to send back as proof that the galaxy has de-aging technology than a spy returned to his early teens? Too old to be their own child. Too well developed to be a clone. Too well informed to be anyone else. Physical proof, right up there with the dead bodies that they're rumored to be collecting. Couple that with the massive shipment of raw materials that Modan knows will be going out with the lance, and it should be proof enough to silence most doubters. After all, triple the physical cost and volume for metals and equipment coupled with prefabricated parts for 2 more Dauntless-class vessels is quite the gift. They had to cut back on the amount of gold and platinum they were sending, though. Crashing the economy back on Earth would not end well. Perhaps he could update his next message home in time. He last did so last week, but the last couple of days had been hectic and worthy of comment. He rushes back to his bunk room and gets to work. His uncle would certainly be interested in the video of the fight. He just finished some hours later and has saved the file in its proper folder. His family would know. He had also spread the news that everyone should update their messages home sometime yesterday because the next lance was soon to leave. It was important. His last break day was winding to a close, however. Even when on vacation, he was busy. Jadza was now dealing with part of the aftermath of Sir Philip's stunt in matching them up. More and more of the intelligence agency was asking about him, and he felt like he was staring down the barrel of a gun. Melan had apparently calmed down and was now deeply embarrassed and hiding from him. Apparently, she hadn't let her self-control slip that badly in a long time, and Adagok getting her to act like an idiot had just rubbed salt into the wound. So she wasn't having a good day either. The girl was almost schizophrenic when she had time to think about things. Impulsive in the moment, pensive after the fact, and apparently easily embarrassed. So now he was just getting a good hard drink at one of the rec halls that had popped up around the Dauntless. A big foaming lager in a German-style stein in order to stop things from spilling every which way as he looks for a seat. A bit away from the crowd is a mostly empty table with a nervous-looking lyric man sitting at it with a pint of something pale yellow and foaming. Modan shrugs and quickly walks over. "You waiting for someone?" he asks, gently looking down at the shorter man. "No, I'm just here," the Lyrac says, looking around as if trying to see if something's about to happen. He exudes nerves. "Mind if I sit?" "Most tables are fairly full," Modan asks. "Go ahead," the Lyrac says. "Thank you. I'm Quartermaster Maji. Who are you?" "Axel Crumble, formed the Therasite Republic," he says, and Modan sighs before looking around. "What?" "Oh, just wondering if a meddling old bugger is trying something again?" "I heard my mother muttering about a meddling old man. Are you talking about the same person?" "Probably. Who's your mother, boy?" "Don't call me a boy. I'm 133. I'm a father of 12. "Good job. You want a cookie for it?" Modan asks before wincing. "I apologize. That meddling old man your mother spoke of is Sir Philip. He's recently decided to play around by toying with my love life. He also did it in such a way that the only way he doesn't get what he wants is if I ruin things for myself. So I'm feeling a little testy after being manipulated. I understand. Believe me, I understand the annoyance of people thinking they know better. It's even worse when they're right. Trust me on this one," Modan says, and Axel chuckles. I know Crumble's a fairly normal lyric name, but why Axel? Do you have a synth for an ancestor?" "Not directly, but my great-uncle had a synth twin named Axel. I was named after him." "Had?" "Pirate attack." When the shields were taken down, the ship he was on took a plasma blast right into the engines. He was working there. Shrapnel went right through his central processor and memory banks. Axel says, looking into his drink. I'm sorry to hear that, Modan says, raising his stein. To uncles. 2 uncles? Axel asks, looking at him confused. Raise your drink and lightly tap it against mine. It's called a toast or a cheer. It's a way of honoring things. Modan explains and they toast. To uncles, Axel says. What did yours do to earn a toast? Save my life as a child. A drought led to a fire, led to an explosion and nearly to my death. But my uncle had medical training and kept me alive. How bad was it? In the end, it took about 10 years worth of checkups and medical scans to find all the shrapnel I was peppered with. Modan says, That puts some things into perspective, I think. Axel notes as he looks into his drink. What's a lemon and why does it taste like acid? What? Modan asks. What's a lemon and why does it taste like acid? A yellow, sour fruit. It's full of a type of acid called citrus acid. It's the source of the sourness. I was told this lemonade was a human drink safe for other races to have. It won't eat through your stomach, but I doubt it's anything like anything you've had before. Modan replies. This is a child's drink, isn't it? Axel suddenly says with a surprising amount of bitterness. Just what demons is this man wrestling with? To humans, the only drinks that are adult drinks are the ones that would poison a developing child. So technically, yes, as is water, a universal constant that's needed for life itself. Modan replies. Even Canadors balk at drinking the adult human drinks. Is that one? Axel asks, pointing to the stein in Modan's hand. Yes, Modan replies before heaving a sigh. Look, I'm here to unwind and relax while getting on to better terms with the fact that one of my greatest values to my people is as damn arm candy. I can't even argue against it without being a massive hypocrite or an ingrate either. So, you humans do understand? Axel asks. What on earth is going on with you? Modan demands. You don't know, Axel asks, and Modan shakes his head. So my mother didn't send you to make friends with me? Try to make me feel better about amounting to nothing because everywhere I go everyone sabotages everything I do by helping me and never letting me get anything done. Kid, my issue is that I've been trained to wage war, trained well, and have been prepped to wade through rivers of blood. But instead, I'm going to be able to get more done on silken pillows and with sweet wines than anything else. I feel like a fool, but I don't feel useless. As for your mother, no. My relationship with the Therisite Republic is that I was set up on a blind date by a superior officer, and now I'm finding out that he set it up so I'll end up sweeping nearly 100 women off their feet by sheer happenstance, and that it will improve relationships between the Undaunted and the Therisite Republic. Honestly, if you've been set up to be wed to women that will be charmed by you for some other reason than pure desperation, then you're ahead of the curve. Better than myself, in fact, Axel says. Really? I don't have anyone's respect, not even mine, really. I said too much, Axel states before standing up. Sit down, Modan tells him. No. Axel states, and there is a buildup of axiom before he stumbles and falls into a chair next to Modan. What did you do? Cheated. Now, here's how you learn to respect yourself, kid. Modan begins turning to face him fully. You find something to do, something worth doing, something you want to do, and you do it. You're going to fail. You're going to fail a lot at first, but then you fail to fail, and then you fail to fail more. Eventually, you start getting to a point where you can be called good at something. When you're actually there, though, you won't feel like you're good at it. You'll see all the little mistakes you make, and it'll anger you and make you think you're just a big screw-up. Then, you'll take a step back and think. Then, you'll start to smile, because you'll realize that you've actually gotten good at something that matters to you. Then you will respect yourself. Understand? I still don't think you should call me kid or child. I'm older than you. It's not about how long you've been traveling, it's how far you've gone. And I've got an entire road map written on my torso for how far I've come.